LEGO is no stranger to recreating creatures and animals out of bricks, so it doesn't come as a surprise to me that after the wildly successful Tuxedo Cat from LEGO Ideas, Icons ventured into doing something similar of their own with the brand new Golden Retriever puppy. Will it be just as successful? Time will tell, I guess, but I do have some thoughts to share about it, so before moving on with it, thank you LEGO for sending this for review. As you crack this open, the building instructions have a cutesy approach to these, having the puppy speak to you in its own voice, and I don't know, not my cup of tea, but I guess some adults will like it. Lots of little snippets of information about the model and the puppy speaking to you can be found throughout the pages, but again, if you're like me, you might ignore it altogether. If you have either the Tuxedo Cat or the Big Dalmatian, if you need a sense of scale and size, the puppy is very similar in comparison, done with its golden shade, so to speak, where LEGO Tan was the color of choice to recreate it, though at times there's a lot of different colors that can be seen, especially on the leg builds. The teal shaded color will obviously stand out with that bone tag there, a printed 3x3 tile by the way. As is usually the case with these types of builds, the process of putting this together was, to me, very enjoyable to do. The studs not on top techniques or the odd angles of parts of the build, like the main body or the back legs, aren't something incredibly new by now, but still great nonetheless. Most of the design effort went into the head most likely, as that's usually the hardest part to recreate, and it looks okay. In here lies most of what the model can do outside of standing still and looking cute. First, the head turns side to side, but there's an extra degree of posing with the tilting, which allows for that cute look puppies sometimes do when they're puzzled about something. The very expressive eyes are also printed by the way, and its lower jaw can be opened to a few different angles due to the click hinges used for it. The pink tongue and white teeth can be seen this way, and if you open its back like this, you'll be able to find this tongue extension you can place in its mouth for yet another way to display the puppy. The ears also have some degree of movement for them, not a lot, but enough to make it more expressive, and the tail, despite not looking like it, moves side to side and slightly up and down. Something I liked about the Dalmatian was the ability to quickly change poses from sitting to playful, and while that's not exactly possible with the Retriever, his left leg can be taken out and repositioned like this for the paw trick, which he can bend to your preferred way. Doing it also reveals the paw pads in dark grey, which can be found in all four paws. Lovely details and options all around. Now, if I'm being honest, there's a lot about this model that I'm not so fond of. The incredible amount of non-tan spots of color kinda takes away from the looks of the model in my eyes, especially in the interchangeable leg assembly. But then also on the body and leg connection, detail, all of these spots here, or even the green and brown peeking behind the collar. I get the need for color coding so building mistakes happen less often, but this is an 18+ build after all, so I really don't agree with some of these choices when the look ends up being compromised. Just look how clean the Dalmatian or the Tuxedo Cat look, right? Then I'm not too sure the breed comes across out of this model. This image is what my mind immediately thinks about, but I guess LEGO went for this Retriever look instead, and even then I'm having somewhat of a hard time to see any of them in the model, maybe due to the amount of texture put into the set with the extensive use of different slopes, wedges and studded pieces, like way too many. And don't get me wrong, I love studs, my whole channel was built on LEGO studs, yet, and I hate to bring these two up again, look how minimal the studs used elevate the overall look of these models, right? It needed to be smoother to look fluffier, in my opinion, especially if the goal was to go for the Retriever puppy, whereas I personally can only see generic dog puppy here. If you're looking at it straight up, as shown in the box, you may be able to kinda see it, but when turned on the side, that feeling goes away instantly. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but do let me know in the comments what you all think. On the very bright side, this 2001-piece LEGO model will retail for $140, which in this economy is practically unheard of. Pretty much the same as the Dalmatian, which has less 400 pieces to it, and while the Tuxedo Cat also has 400 less pieces when compared to the puppy, also costs $40 less. So yeah, there you have it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all on the next one.